You know, it's no secret that the world has a very passionate car culture, and one of the first things we do when we modify or personalize our cars is we do something with the wheels. Now, sometimes we can find the wheel design that we like, but the finish, maybe not so much. But this is where Prismatic Powders can help, because we have over 6,500 colors that you could use to personalize your wheels. I'm sure we have something that would work for you. Okay, now there's a couple of considerations that you want to make before you start coating the wheels. First of all, is you want to mask the mounting faces of the wheels. The reason why you want to do that and you don't have any powder there is because if the powder starts to wear off, it becomes a safety issue where your lug bolts could come loose, and then eventually you could potentially have a wheel come off. So avoid that by making sure that is free from any powder. Now some of them are just a complete ring all the way around there. This one we had to kind of cut up. Either way, your wheel will tell you what you need to do. The other thing is how you rack the wheel. Now, the wheel design is going to tell you what it can do, because no matter what, you're going to have a rack mark somewhere. Now, if I spin the wheel around here, you can see we have a pretty shallow valve stem hole here. So we've opted to just go with a 5/16 eye bolt. The mark that it makes is going to get covered by the valve stem, so that's allowable in this case. Some of them, they're deep enough that you might not want to go that route. Instead, you might want to use some heavy gauge wire or a chain, wrap it around the outer barrel of the rim, and then hang off of that. Okay, so we're ready to go ahead and start coating on these wheels. They've been blasted, outgassed, they're cleaned, everything is ready to go. All the masking's been done. So I'm going to get suited up, get these things coated with the first coat. We're going with the Stealth Charcoal base coat and then a Casper Clear top coat. Okay, so at this point we've got the Stealth Charcoal partially cured, and all we did was let it go a few minutes past the point of flow out, and then we brought it out, let it cool, and now we're going to put the Casper Clear top coat. Now the reason why we only do a partial cure in between coats is so that we have good intercoat adhesion between the two layers. There's only a couple of colors you don't do that with. We won't get into that now. The rule of thumb generally is partial cure for your base coat, and then full cure once your top coat goes on, and then the two coats bond together. So now we're going to go through and just hit it with the Casper Clear and see what we come up with. Okay, we've got the Casper Clear top coat put on this Stealth Charcoal. We brought them out and let them cool down. Everything looks great on them. You'll notice it still retained that kind of just the flat finish that's inherent to Stealth Charcoal. But be aware that when you put a low gloss clear over something that has a metallic, there is a purpose for doing that, and that is to protect the metallic from oxidation. But it does sometimes somewhat diminish the flip-flop or the twinkle of the metallic. It's still there and present, it just doesn't sparkle like it normally would. And another thing that I was going to mention I didn't beforehand is that when you're spraying, you want to make sure you're not trying to drive powder into these lug bolt holes, because you want that to be actually a bare surface so that when you tighten down the lug bolt, it doesn't wear the powder and then create a situation where it could wear the powder away enough that you could have a lug bolt come loose. Same principle as masking the mounting flange on it. You just want to keep that bare. The great thing about powder versus paint is that once it's out of the oven, fully cured, cooled down, and you can touch it, it's done. You're not waiting days or hours for it to cure out. The oven does all the curing for it. So now, since we can touch them, the next thing that has to happen is get them mounted up on the tires and mounted onto the vehicle. So we've got the tires mounted on the wheels and everything mounted up on the vehicle. Looks great. The young lady who works in our marketing department, who these belong to, is very happy because she got the wheel design that she wanted, but more specifically, she got the color that she wanted. And I must say, it does look pretty tough.